Hello, everyone. Thanks for... I gotta stand next to this thing, don't I? Can you hear me if I walk away? Because I like to walk around. All right, cool. Thanks for coming to my talk, Fighting User Apathy and Indifference. My name is Carlis. During my talk today, I want to do a few things. I want to start off by complaining. In fact, pretty much the whole talk's going to be complaining. But I want to complain about this problem of user apathy and indifference. Why it's so bothersome. Check that out. I got two things pulled now. Then I wanted to talk about a way I think that maybe we can fight this problem. We'll loop back around to some more complaining. Then we'll have some open discussion, some question and answer, which officially will last a few minutes. Unofficially, it's going to last the rest of my life. So everyone ready? On board? Ready for some talks? Cool. This is not like a dense, informationally intensive talk. It's me up here talking about this idea I had for like a half hour, and then we go and have some snacks probably. So, fighting user apathy and indifference. I'm a penetration tester, a member of the red team at SecureWorks. And like a lot of penetration testers, I have a compulsive need to tell you that I'm a penetration tester and then talk about penetration testing for a while. So let's do that. How did I get here? How did I get to be up here complaining about user apathy and indifference? Penetration testing, it's one of those things there's always some debate about how to define it, what it really means. Same thing with red team testing. But essentially, I'm a fake criminal for hire. I test security. I test things by trying to break the rules. It's the best job there is. It's the best job out there. I don't know what your job is, but sorry, mine's better. With most penetration tests, they are focused on a specific area of an organization's security. They'll test the internal network, they'll test external network, wireless, physical, lots of different stuff. Each can provide value to the organization, it can identify weaknesses, but they are inherently restrained. They're restricted to whatever is being tested. An external penetration test is only going to test the external network. With a red team test, we get to take the gloves off a bit. We get to get a bit more into the role. And it's really pretty simple. I'm a bad guy. You have something that I want to steal. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's credit card information. Maybe it's personal health. Maybe it's business secrets. Whatever it is, I want it. So I'm coming for you. Now, I don't want to go to jail. So I'm going to try to choose attacks that, while I think they're effective, they fall within my level of acceptable risk. They're not going to be noticed. They're not going to be caught. Also, I'm a little bit lazy. I don't want to work too hard. Stealing your stuff is a business for me. I'm not looking to waste resources. I got bills. Cheap and effective for me, the attacks, it's going to trump something that's flashy and expensive. And finally, I don't feel any real need to play by your rules. I don't feel a need to just stick to just the external or just the Wi-Fi. Everything is in scope. And as your bad guy, I'm going to use whatever works. So what we know works with a disturbing degree of reliability is attacks against the user. Social engineering, USB key drops, tailgating into buildings, phishing. The user is a weak point in your defenses. And that's something that we'll exploit. That's something we'll take advantage of. We will find someone at your organization having a bad security day, and we'll leverage that in pursuit of stealing all your stuff. And yeah, that's a lot of fun. But I'm not really a bad guy. And you're not paying me to just break in and act all smug and American. I need to provide some sort of like actual response, some sort of recommendations on how you can stop whatever attacks were successful during this test. And traditionally, the recommendations that we provide tend to fall into a couple different groups. I've wandered away from the podium. I need to change slides. And I have the thing that lets me change slides as I carry it around, and yet I keep leaving it here. The first of which is what I like to think of as technological solutions. And we like these. These are comfortable. Employee allowed tailgating into building. You should buy and install a turnstile for your office. Phishing was effective. Buy this secure email gateway 9000, plug it into your network. Something bad happened, buy this thing. It'll make it better. We like these. These, as technology enthusiasts, these fall in line with our way of trying to solve problems. Yeah, they can be expensive, but it's something we can control. The problem is that for a large part, what we're doing here is treating the symptoms. We're putting some Band-Aids on some bullet wounds we have here. Yeah, they work, they do, stuff, they do what they're pretty much supposed to do, the best they can, but they often end up being more of a speed bump to an attacker rather than that brick wall that we're all hoping for. All right, what else do we recommend? User education. I love this. We'll say, provide your users with information security awareness training. Information security awareness training. I die just a little bit inside every time I say it. And I say it twice, and I don't know why. But information security awareness training, undeniably, it's a good idea. It's critically important, in fact. We can't afford like mass ignorance of the topic. But everyone hates it. Everyone. Even we, as security professionals, don't like security awareness training. So much so that in a lot of places, what have we done? We've taken the whole thing and we shoved it over to the Human Resources Department and said, here, you deal with this. Information security awareness training has turned into a 40-minute PowerPoint slide deck that you click through as fast as you can. It's next to the ethics training and the annual harassment training. This is what we've done with it. And sadly, I guess, it's working as intended. Let's think about the Human Resources Department, who's luckily not here. The Human Resources Department at your organization exists to protect the company from the employee. So in that regard, information security awareness training is pretty much doing exactly what they want it to do. Because when one of your users inevitably, after receiving training, clicks a link in an email, well now, you can reprimand them, you can yell at them. Should we do a live demo of how that might go? Can you help me out, Aaron?
Yes.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm co-worker. Point right at you. I should do that. Like, can you help me out? That doesn't know. Right. So in this scenario, Aaron is a user who's clicked something. And I've come to yell at him. Aaron, hey man, you clicked the link in that phishing email. Why did you do that? We told you, remember 8 months ago, you took that training and said, hey, don't do that. Come on, man.
The deal for Domino's Pizza. How can I refuse?
All right, well, I mean, the CFO clicked the same link. So try not to do it again, all right? Yeah, that's it. Thank you. That's it. That's super effective, right? That's essentially what it's coming down to. It's a way that we can get people in a little bit of trouble if they don't follow the rules. So, all right, we're fighting a battle here. How does it look like we're doing? Do we have technological solutions? Are they expensive? And do they annoy our users? Yeah. That's how we know they're working. We have User education. Is it boring? Yeah, that's how we know it's educational, right? The user, they're informed. They know, but they don't care. They don't care enough to act. And some of the problem is that we, as information security professionals, we're not good at making people care about things. Computers are still tricky, but getting humans, getting actual people to care about something, it's a bit outside our core skill set. We need to approach this problem in a different way. Clearly what we're trying, yeah, it's working, it's doing what it's supposed to do, but it's going to continue to be a problem. We can head back a bit. What we have is an idea. Probably a relatively simple idea. Something that our users could do that would make security better. Everybody needs to badge in. Don't click every link in the emails that you get. Choose a complex password. And we've told them about it. User awareness training. We've tried to lovingly, gently force them to do it with the technological solutions we have. But what we really haven't been doing is trying to sell them this idea. Sell it to them. Get it in front of them. Not just showing it to them once in a while, but get this message out there. Get it ingrained. Get it so that they can't stop thinking about it, can't stop working about it. We need this message seared across their soul. We might need professional help. Professional help. We should, I think, and the whole reason I'm standing up here yelling at you, enlist the help of marketing professionals to sell security to our users. Marketing professionals. Marketing is telling people about an idea and then getting them to act on it. That's like exactly what we want. And all right, yeah, it's not a completely new novel idea. You can look on the internet and find references to it going back for years, but it doesn't seem to be either widely implemented or well implemented. But that doesn't mean it's not a good idea. But you can see how you might hear about it and say, use marketing to sell security to your users. And think, oh, that makes sense. But I'm not in marketing. It's not what I do. And then the idea dies. Sad. When you head outside, there we go. When you head outside, we see advertisements, billboards, logos, everywhere. I should be using this more. You watch television, there's commercials, product placements. If you go on the internet and you're not using an ad blocker for some reason, advertisements galore. When you head into the office, that level of advertising pretty much drops off. Hopefully, depending on where you work. And what we have is more of a blank slate. This is where we could reach our target audience. This is where we have an opportunity on every blank wall, on every screen, on every internal website to get this idea, this simple security idea, whatever you have, in front of the users. Not once a year during training. You get in front of them every day. And marketing can help ensure that this message is communicated effectively. Effective communication. We'll talk more about that in just a minute, after these messages. Yeah, I put a commercial break in my talk. That's fine. You guys tried this stuff? This is some pretty good stuff. I can't get it back in the States, but I'm hoping to get a sponsorship deal. All right, it's fine. Maybe I should not be trying this. It's not actually intermission. No one get up and leave. I can't. It's carbs, man. Look at me. I've had too much sugar as it is, and possibly too much caffeine today. What do we got? All right, let's say, for the sake of argument, that you don't think I'm crazy, and you like this idea. Maybe you think, well, how can we possibly get it going in my organization? I've been thinking about that too. If we have so much in common, we should hang out. How can we do this? One option, maybe we can do it internally. It's quite likely that wherever you're working has some sort of marketing personnel already working there. Maybe you could loop them in. Elicit their help in developing an internal information security marketing campaign. They understand your corporate culture, they know what resources you have available, maybe you have a good working relationship. It could happen. But it's all done. I'm not just up here saying like everything's great. Clear problems possibly coming up. Primarily is that working on your security campaign is probably not their job. They have their own marketing stuff to do that's presumably making the company money. What else? It's going to cost a certain amount of money to do this. Who's paying for this? Who loves this idea? Who hates this idea? Who's fighting with the people who love or hate this idea? Corporate politics, always fun to deal with. It's something where you'll need to have done your homework. Try to find someone on the marketing team where you can, get their buy-in idea, come at it from two directions. Find a champion in marketing that seems to be needed to get anything done in a large organization. Have your arguments ready as to why this is going to help solve a problem that your company is having. Okay. What else? We have, what if we hired an outside consultant to do this work? Speaking as a consultant, hiring a consultant is often an excellent idea. You could contract a company, find a company that has the experience in both marketing and security to come in and help identify problems and weaknesses and build that information security marketing campaign. You could maybe try to bypass some of the internal politics you don't need to pull from your marketing team. There's still obviously some problems potentially. Consultants at the very least cost money. I don't know. I didn't do the math. But there's another line item to the budget. Who's going to pay for this? Oh, decisions need to be made. We're back at politics. Still, I think consulting is a pretty good idea. And you may be thinking, this guy works for SecureWorks, it's Brandon on all his slides. Is he about to stand up here and say that SecureWorks has a brand new service offering where we come in and do marketing? No, we're not doing this. I'm pushing for it. Maybe we'll someday, but we'll see how convincing my arguments are to the bosses. Finally, a third way, thinking about this, one I think that has a good deal of merit. College interns, college students. We have any university students happen to be here? Sweet, not you. Marketing students, that's what we need. We can bring in a marketing intern, and for that semester, or whatever you have here, they would do more than just bring the marketing department some coffee and donuts. They would work to develop an internal marketing security campaign. If right now you've got nothing, literally anything these students do would be better than the nothing that you have. Your team could provide what you want them to sell, as well as various help and resources. The marketing department could help out providing guidance and direction. This would benefit the organization because they get some kind of security campaign. It would benefit the intern, who would get some unique experience in a fairly up-and-coming line of work. It would benefit you if your users just stop clicking on things for 5 seconds while they're looking at whatever this kid made. And then the marketing department, they would probably still get coffee and donuts out of the deal. I mean, I don't know. What do they really want? So, right now, it should be fairly obvious to you that I'm just some hacker standing up here saying like, hey, I got a good idea, and go forth, go out there and talk to marketing, and good things will happen. I promise, I'm going to stay safe over here in my consultant bubble and not talk to strangers because they're scary. Yeah, I didn't want to be completely hypocritical coming up here talking about that. So I tried it myself. I went out to a member of our own SecureWorks marketing team. I went out to local colleges in the Chicago area where I live and hunted down marketing professors. I wanted to get their professional input. I wanted to say, you know, I have this idea. Do you think it has merit? What potential problems do you think we may have in trying to pull this off if we were to try it? What potential, you know, issues, what can we do to maybe make it more successful? There could be big problems I would just have no idea about because I'm not in marketing. I didn't go to school for it. It's never been my job. I'm standing up here saying it's a great thing. I also wanted to do this so I would have the experience. I didn't know these guys. I didn't have introductions, never met them before. I wanted to see what it'd be like to approach these strangers with an idea I had and say, you know, how would it be to try to interact and get their involvement? So I came to them with these questions, and they said, who are you and how did you get in my office? They didn't say that. No. Instead, I get that a lot. They said, the response is overwhelmingly positive. Each one I spoke to was interested. They thought the idea had merit. They offered their inputs, their recommendations, and perhaps even most surprising to me, and it shouldn't have been, they were all expressing interest in continuing to work with me in the future to develop this. They didn't just say like, yeah, it's a good idea, kid, get out of here. I mean, I'm 40, so they're not going to call me kid, but still, it was nice of them, and it's something that really inspired me to say like, yeah, this isn't just me standing up here saying, hey, I think this is a good idea. It's me and also a couple of guys over in America that you don't know and aren't coming over here to back me up. What can you do? So, not as hypocritical as I would have been otherwise. That's a plus. Let's loop back around to effective communication. It's quite possible that this idea of marketing security is already at play in your organization, being used to try to fight off this user apathy and indifference. I'm lucky enough that I get to visit a lot of companies and see what they got going on security-wise. Sometimes they even know I'm there doing that. But I've seen a few things, and some stuff I like and some stuff I don't like. One of the things that I found people doing more and more that seems pretty cool is the gamification of phishing detection. This is where anyone place do this? Anyone in this company doing that? All right, good. Hopefully you don't completely disagree with me as I continue to talk. So this is where users are encouraged to report suspicious emails, not just because that training said you should totally do that, but because there's some sort of competition. There's some sort of contest. They can possibly win some sort of prize. And when it's presented to the users, it's not a footnote on a PowerPoint slide deck. It comes out with a little bit of excitement. It gets the users thinking like, hey, I could win some maybe not too shabby prize by just reading my email and complaining about stuff. Reading the email and complaining about stuff is pretty much all I do anyway. So, with various people I've talked about that have deployed this in their organization, they tend to, I'm not going to say rave, but it's definitely, they've seen certain benefits of it, and it's a example of a security idea that has been marketed better. We've already told them, report suspicious emails, and they weren't really doing it, but we took that and said, well, let's work with the human condition a little bit. Let's work and find a way to try to get people to, actually act, actually move on this simple idea that we want them to do. And the contest is not working at your...
We put a picture of fish on everyone's email card.
Okay.
Yes, we are getting, so it's a bit debatable.
All right. Yes. Oh. Is there any reward built around that, or is it just something where they're encouraged, like?
A little moment of satisfaction when you push the fish.
Oh, so they feel it.
I get a lot of satisfaction when I push the fish.
Okay.
That's the
The programs differ, obviously. I mean, I've heard about programs where people win Amazon gift cards. If your team, if your group reports the most suspicious emails, and they're even maybe ranked like these were obvious fishes, but these were actually like scary stuff, and you did a good job pointing it out. Your team could win prizes, pizza party, I don't know, whatever people who have real jobs like. So it's something that I've seen that I'm like, we need more of that, more of at least that kind of thinking, to say like, what we're trying right now by just telling them to do it isn't getting the job done. On the other end of the spectrum, and there's probably more people with this. We have the bulletin board. Somewhere in your office, in the break room, the hallway, there's a bulletin board, and on that bulletin board, wedged between parking regulations, or that's just wedged between the parking regulations and whatever else is up there is a piece of paper, and maybe it says like security at the top with like some word art, and then it says, well, we don't really know what it says. Maybe it says report suspicious visitors, or don't click phishing emails, or maybe it says, who knows? No one, it might as well be camouflaged. I mean, we all see it, we all know that it's there, but it's ineffective communication. This is the kind of stuff that left to our own devices, I think we come up with. Like, we need to tell people about security thing. All right, let me open up Word and change the color to red, because red's important. It sits up there, and nobody knows what it says. That's not true that nobody knows what it says. I know what it says. I know what your sign says, because when I break into your organization, when I break into your office, and I'm creeping around the place, looking to steal stuff or attach stuff to your network, I look for these, because they make me smile. I look for them, and when I see them, I take a picture of them. Or sometimes, I'll take a selfie with them. Yeah. So, on the paper behind me, it says, if you see something, say something. Nobody said anything. You know, I'm shoving a bagel in my mouth. I stole that bagel in front of people. It was delicious. Still, nobody said anything. This is not effectively motivating people to do any sort of action. This is what you're fighting against. So, you can do this. I mean, don't steal a bagel. You can find a way to make your communication more effective, to use marketing, to work with them, to make security better. Talk to marketing. Most of them are pretty good people, not all of them. Keep your guard up a little bit. You shouldn't feel the need in this battle. You shouldn't feel like you have to be constrained to whatever comfortable solutions we've half been working before, whatever duct tape, half measures that you've tried in the past. It's clearly not working well enough, or we wouldn't have jobs. Feel free to take a page from our bad guy playbook. You guys should use whatever works. So that's pretty much it. Short talk. If you have a problem with that, I don't care. But I appreciate everyone showing up. Thanks, B-Sides, for letting me come and talk. Hopefully, you're not going to just be super mad at me. But at this point, discussion. If you have questions, I will pretend to try to answer them while desperately thinking of a way to get out of the situation. If you want to talk about penetration testing, clearly I cannot shut up about that. If you want to talk about the person who's currently the American president, I can't, because I haven't been drinking heavily. But Yeah, is there any questions? Do you guys hate it? You hate me? All right. Oh, actually, cool. What do you got? Right. 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 Yes. 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 So, and at that point, we have the carrot and the stick, potentially. I mean, it could just be the stick, but who wants to work at a place where it's just the stick? Hopefully, there's also some carrots. We could, as you were saying, a punitive aspect of the gamification. Like, if you're consistently not playing the game, if you're failing every phishing test, if you're becoming almost a liability to the company because you stubbornly don't care, is punishment in order? I don't like the negative reinforcement. Then again, I don't have to deal with it. But on a personal level, I'm like, no, let's not punish people. It demotivates them, I think, rather than motivates them. Okay. I see, yeah. Huh. Okay, yeah, sort of like pushing the problem off onto them. Yeah, yeah, I don't know, it's... Right. So like they bring their own like devices. I'm always worried that like they're gonna bring their phone in and then connect their corporate laptop to their phone and bypass any of the restrictions, and next thing you know, that corporate laptop's popped. And yeah, actually, I like when that happens with this me doing that. Thank you. Any other? Back there? No, yeah, you. All right. I didn't want to have to do this. What? I'm sorry. I couldn't understand you. Yes.
What he's actually asking is, do you see any difference in between sectors? Like, for example, do you see like insurance and banking are good and like shipping is bad?
Oh yeah, I mean,
consistent across the field?
Definitely. There's, I'm sorry. Certainly different, and I think any pen testing consultant will back me up on this. Certain businesses, certain fields, you get a test for, and it's like, oh, this is going to be fun. Healthcare, you'd really hope that healthcare companies would have stuff locked down, and you have my health information. No, some of the scariest pen tests that I've done are at a hospital. And I was seriously considering trying to steal a baby because that was the level of access that I had gained. Other organizations, I've seen, certain financial places, they know what their issues are. They've done a good job of segmenting things off and locking them down so that it makes it a little bit more challenging for the tester. Really large organizations, frequently have some things that they're doing quite well, and then and you're worried as a tester for a little bit that it's going to be hard, and then you find the fact that they're huge means they're screwing up a whole bunch of other stuff and can attack that. So yeah, definitely certain organizations are, certain fields are a little bit more locked down than others, but it's not a hard and fast rule. There's surprisingly crappy security pretty much everywhere you go. But keeps me, employed. Yes?
Is security theatre a effective control when dealing with normal human beings when there's none of them?
Oh.
For example, like on this password on it.
Right.
It's absolutely crap. I made a copy of it.
Yes.
But everyone in the organisation
It,
Or
yeah,
an airport.
yeah. The airport,
Theatre, it's
yeah.
not really protected much.
it's, I mean, so the airport security, yeah, we all know it's security theater. Same with your organization. I mean, people,
It sort of does work in a way.
it does, I mean, to a certain degree, like you're wearing your badge on a lanyard around your neck. Do other people in your organization wear them on their hips? They have like a clip there? Or is it wear your lanyard around your neck? And that's okay. One of the attacks that we use a lot in physical penetration testing. I mean, we spend. I mentioned tailgating or following people in the building. We've actually are moving away from that because. Sadly, because it's too easy. Because of the problems like this, like how do I tell you how to stop that? That's not like tell people not to do that or put a turnstile in. You're already, telling people not to do that, and turnstiles are expensive. We'll do an attack that involves badge cloning. We have, you can see it on the internet. We have long-range badge readers, Proxmart to write that badge. So we target people coming in, heading out, at the coffee shop, and steal their badge, and make a clone and walk in. And when I'm asked on how do we stop that, I can talk about some more technological solutions, which are going to be like, maybe move to I-class readers or a different badge, or put numbered pads on the doors so that people need to punch in a code and they can't just, or at least in the sensitive areas. But something else I'll also recommend is have your folks wear their badges on a lanyard around their neck, as opposed to on their side. Because it's harder for me to get a read by holding that up to your chest and steal your badge that way. It's not a perfect solution, but it makes my job a little bit harder. Also, badge discipline. Have your badge always on display while you're walking around the facility, but when you leave, when you go outside, put it away, put it in your bag. So I don't know, as someone sitting out, do you have a badge? Do you really work there? I don't know. I talked for a while because you asked a theater question, and I'm like, I'll talk about other stuff, and then. Yeah. It's sad. Yeah. That's not good. That's. Okay, highly disturbing. Security theater. I'm not a fan, professionally, but in regards of will it help us with what we're trying to do as far as convincing people that they need to do whatever security action that we really want them to do. To a certain degree, I think it might be okay. If you can do something like, we need, let's talk about a scenario where like tailgating happens, so you need to like scare everyone for a week by having like really insane entry and exit procedures, and maybe don't give them all the information, but let the rumor mill circulate that there's a security problem. And so you know exactly what happened, but you've raised everyone's awareness by causing some hassle in their life. Could it work? Could it not? I don't know. I wish I could give you a more solid answer. I'm going to say, like, I'm not a marketing professional, so maybe. Yeah. Other questions? Right.
When you do some break-ins in organizations physically, have you ever come across examples of good information security marketing? You give examples of bad stuff.
Yeah. I have. So, thanks for asking. I broke into a movie studio. And it's a company on a movie studio lot that was doing some production work for them. And I found their kind of like security office, and they had made up mock movie posters of current exciting movies, and then they had swapped out like security. So it was like the new Mission Impossible movie, but I don't want to say like Mission Impossible, not clicking links in phishing email, but it was, instead of that boring piece of paper, it looked like, the legit movie posters that they had up in a couple places. And they also had like handout leaflets of these. I stole a couple because they were pretty cool. But that was an example. But most often, I think SecureWorks probably has something up in our break room saying like, don't give out information over the phone. And we test our people on that, and for the most part, yeah, we don't give out information over the phone, which is annoying if you're calling in as an employee trying to get information out of them. So yeah, it does happen, but I doubt in that case that it was just a security person coming up with that on her own. It was more likely that she had teamed up with someone in that in the movie studio to like, hey, can you help me with this? Already working on the idea without ever having the joy of listening to me talk for however long I've been talking. So, anyone else? No? Cool. Well, then I'll stop and leave you all to go about your day. Thank you so much for coming out and listening to me talk. I have my Twitter address up there. Feel free to ignore that because I haven't logged in months, but I mean, check it out if you like. I work for SecureWorks. I don't want to plug them too much, but there's lots of security options out there. We're also one of them. So check it out. Thank you very much.